What's up, guys? Shaz here, and welcome to another review. Yeah, I know I'm doing this review really quickly, but I wanted to talk about Wolfenstein New Order. So, if anyone knows about Wolfenstein games, it's basically similar to like Doom meets Call of Duty in a way. And I recently just finished the game on like the hardest difficulty, so this is like my review of the game. It's pretty good. Like the game is really okay. It's not anything special. There's no like deeper meaning, no deeper like stuff. The story is just your average. You have enemies, go kill them like type of plot. There's a lot of well-made combat and stuff like that. The game's basically what a retro shooter would be in like a modern type game scenario. Like what if like the older Doom games would have been like in normal normal like modern games before, because I think this game came before Doom 4 2016. I'm not sure, I can't remember correctly, but this game had a lot of likes because of it, because a lot of people like enjoyed it. Most people enjoyed its DLC, the Old Blood, which unfortunately I could not play because I didn't have it. But a lot of people still hold Old Blood over the New Order and then like the rest of the series. Personally, I think I like New Order, not over Old Blood, but like still I enjoy it some perspective. So in New Order, there's like two like timelines. There's the first one is basically the old World War era, where you play as like World War Blaskowitz with like Thompsons and like old weapons like Lugers, and then there's the modern era where you have like more modernized versions of these weapons, and it's enjoyable. The game's got a lot of like enemy variety. There's a lot of like cool bosses in the game. Some bosses are great, and some are again great, but are like put in like really crappy environments that like are against the player. They've got a lot of enemy variety. There's different type of soldiers. Some are like more armored. Some like call in backup, and they've got a lot of weapon varieties as well. There's the shotgun, sniper, pistols. There's a railgun you get after like the in the London Nautica mission. Like there's a lot of weapons. the the game also has a lot of like different enemy environments and a lot of like environments that you're used to. In one of the missions, you actually go visit the moon, which is like one of my personally favorite missions. It's also one of the easier missions. You also get a lot of like weapon attachments and health upgrades as you progress through the game, but you can only find them by like exploring. Also, there's I like the fact that the game has like a level of exploring in it. Like there's actual reward for exploring. The game doesn't like punish you for exploring. What I'm trying to say is like you will go around a vault and like do a puzzle, and then you might just unlock an armory with like health upgrades and like more weapons, stuff like that. And I like the like combat and the detail in the combat, like how your weapons actually like have a larger flash when you fire, how the enemies actually get dismembered when you're like shooting a certain part of their body. Really like impressive stuff. This is something similar to like Doom 2016. I think this was, like I said, this was like before Doom 2016. So Bethesda and like it really did well in like making it as detailed as they could get, like shooting off parts of any enemy, stuff like that. But but let's talk about like the story. It takes on like an alternate timeline where if Germans won the First World War and like the Second World War, by the way, I mistake that. And then like what would the normal day lives of people would be, and you play as like an what do you call it, an old like retired special, not as retired, but out of time special soldier who's like dropped into it all of this. Uh, Technically, this isn't even the first Wolfenstein game. This is actually in like according to the games, the fourth one. This is like a sequel to like I think Return to Castle Wolfenstein, and another one I can't remember correctly. But basically, there are characters similar to this. Your main character Blazkowicz. Your main character BJ Blazkowicz is like was also in the few games. You actually play as him in the first few games as well. Death Shed also exists, and some of the enemies you fight in this game are actually available in the old games as well. So it's kind of cool. Uh, what else? Like I said, there's a lot of you have a lot of weapons, but the game also like makes sure that there's like weapon consistency. So as you progress through the game, you'll get different upgrades. You can dual wield all of your weapons actually, even your snipers, except your railgun, which is like one of your most overpowered weapons. There's also like the game also has like mini missions or like filler missions inside. Sometimes you'll just like fall through a vent or something, and then you have to swim all the way back with no importance. I don't know what the point of these missions were. The game actually never explains it. That's why I skipped most of the like headquarter missions, because the headquarter missions were basically just filler missions in a way. But other than that, Wolfenstein New Order was pretty good. It had a lot of like enemy variety, a lot of weapons. You actually can find the double barrel shotgun in this game, but I think you can only use it for like one level in the like headquarters mission. Other than that, the game's got a lot of enemy variety. You've got your average soldiers, you've got your officers who like alert reinforcements, you've got your drones, you've got special tank, uber tank soldiers who are like enemies with machine guns and like more armor. You've got the big guys. I think you've seen already in this clip. I fought two of them. They're a little tough to beat, but they have a like a really easy kill spot. So that's the thing. And coming to weapon attachments, there's a lot of weapon upgrades. You've got stuff like a silencer for your pistol to make stealth encounters really easy for you. You've got a rocket launcher attached to the underbarrel of your rifle. You have the sniper rifle with a laser beam rifle attached to it. You also have a shotgun that can fire ricochet rounds, which is really impressive. You also have another upgrade for the laser gun, but you can only get that after a certain mission, and you have to like find upgrades to make it better. But after you like get 4 or 5 upgrades, including the scope for it, it makes one of the most overpowered guns. It's basically the BFG rifle from Doom, but a little better because it can be recharged over and over again. Other than that, the story of this game is fairly simple. You do different like heist missions where you grab better weapons, armory. You find the game has a interesting story. Not saying that it's like an average story. There's a lot of plots, twists, and like interesting revelations they make, like about I think they call the Yuch Yazdi or something like that. Basically, a hidden Jewish like organization that have like made really advanced advanced scientific discoveries, and like you see a lot of their cool stuff, like a lot of the features, like the wrecking ball, the pincer wrecking ball that like breaks buildings in half. There's the special armor, stuff like that. It's really interesting because it's like the game has its own story and isn't like using old stuff, like showing some of the advanced mechanics. And according to gameplay, there's a lot of stuff like cover to cover mechanics. There's a really decent checkpoint system in this game. I like that the game doesn't punish you too much for like losing a battle. I do have a small gripe with the bosses in this game, because technically every boss in this game has some reason to be a bullet sponge. Now I'm not saying that every boss is bad. A lot of them making being bullet sponges make sense. But what's annoying is that the final boss fight, which is basically against Death Shed, the boss itself isn't that tough. But the major problem is that it's like the area gets more and more environment gets more and more hostile to your character. So you like keep on dying over and over, not to the boss, but to like the fires and stuff like that. That was annoying because that like kind of ruined the boss fight for me. Because the boss wasn't even a threat; it was the environment that was helping him, which was annoying a bit. But other than that, the game has fairly well-made bosses, and it's a lot of fun. I suggest that anyone who likes Wolfenstein games should like play once, because if you like Doom, you're gonna like Wolfenstein. New Order is still fun. Stealth is sorry about that. The stealth is a little bit of a problem, but I don't think too much. But I think that's it. So if you're like into like shooters with like old retro mechanics and like really gory details, I think Doom would be a great fit, especially for someone who likes Call of Duty and games like Mortal Kombat, because you'll enjoy it. So yeah, peace.